Well, evening, folks. It's a little after 7 o'clock at night, and it's still December 2nd, 2020. We were John C., Roseman, California. What's going on? Oh, I thought maybe the news would be getting a hell of a lot more brighter, but then it starts becoming a little bit more dimmer. You see, I know there's a lot of politics out there I could be talking about at this point over here, not to mention about the COVID-19 and everything else going on. But how about talking about this just for a few minutes here? A few weeks ago, out here in Southern California on the Antelope Valley Freeway, in the Antelope Valley, there was an accident. A CHP young officer, 4-year, gets into a tragic accident where he's on life support for a hell of a long while and then loses his life about a couple of days ago. And the department was struggling at this point over here to get arrangements going to escort his body over to Boyle Heights to where it's going to be going through service and then funeral and memorial services. I had been watching a procession sometimes on the lines. It never ceases to break me down that when you put on the badge of any uniform that you serve with, there's always the possible and always potential of losing your life in the line of duty, in the line of service that you selected and chose to do. In the name of service. Even if it has to be a tragic accident to major fatality or a shootout or something probably worse or along that. And in seeing that, it never ceases to break you when you see a lot of respect from brother officers who line up, and not to mention civilians, who pay their respects to a fallen comrade. And it just shakes everybody when they keep saying this because we know somebody or may know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. It's been several years since we've had Sergeant Owen's death out here in the Antelope Valley. He was a well-known, well-loved sergeant, served the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for years. He did a lot of programs. Helped a lot of people. His passing was tragic enough when somebody took his life. And that guy's still in jail right now. But he's not getting out of jail at all. And for the past few years, we've had a park renamed in his honor. It used to be the Lancaster City Municipal Park, and now it's the Sergeant Steele and Park on 10th Street Boulevard between Avenue K and Avenue L. The transportation hub, not to mention next to a activity center and a YMCA, and a lot of large areas for people to have recreation next to the 14th Freeway. We're just giving a little bit of a geography here of that particular park. But the officer's influence was greatly known throughout the department, from Antelope Valley all the way down to the lower portions of Los Angeles County. They knew of him. You put on a badge. It's not that you're becoming badge heavy. You're becoming a servant of the people. You are there to do whatever job it is necessary to serve the public, regardless of what branch you're joining up with. Keep this in mind. When it comes out for civilians, all the way to the military, and they are hard to deal with when you see their deaths all the time. How about having a supposed commander-in-chief forget name of a soldier that they're calling to give condolences to a wife who just lost her husband. I can't remember the name, but she's supposed to cry. And she's so pissed that she's upset with the guy for not remembering him. This was a few years back. And so now, the same forgetful, theoretical commander-in-chief who's going to be ending his tenure has been stomping around like a spoiled brat who can't understand why he's lost everything in his life. He's blaming people. He's blaming his supporters. He's blaming those in his inner circle at this point over here. And he hates when people give up on him. He has a massive ego, and people have still fallen in love with him. I know there's a lot of people out there who claim the media is all fake, and they're after the president because of some kind of hidden agenda. I've heard all these other damn agendas, but people have never proven. And how many states in the union in this current election cycle of 2020 had gotten through recounts and audits regarding the voting to let people know that there was an absolute winner, and it wasn't the current office holder of the White House who is going to be losing his job. I said going to be losing the job because effective January 20th, when we get a new one sworn in and witnessed, what will happen to our country afterwards? We have already been through 4 years of tearing each other's ass apart, left and right, thanks to this douchebag. Yes, I did say douchebag, because I never had any respect for the sorry son of a bitch in the first place. He was always trying to get headlines one way or another. He never did apologize for accusing several black people of a crime they never committed out in Central Park, New York, regarding a brutal beating, violent assault, I believe. This was several decades ago, about 3 or 4 decades ago. Supposed to be a real estate mogul and high up there because he's supposedly having lots of money and fame like crazy. You know, over here in the West Coast, we're like, who the hell is this schmuck? Yeah, I kept hearing the name. And I'm like, what is this big doofus anyway? And the thing of the matter is with this guy is this man that he had been calling for the last 4 years, our commander-in-chief, has been demonstrating to us what kind of a pain in the ass he is. And the problem is, we never were able to get this asshole to do the bidding of the people and not with him. But a lot of people keep saying, no, it's the obstruction, it's this party, it's this, that party. He's trying. He's trying to do what? What the fuck was he trying to do? Trying to balance our economy at this point over here. We got a triple deficit. I mean, God. We're so much in the damn red right now. We can't even get into black, ever. We got so much tax cuts for the wealthy at this point over here. Money pouring into different places they shouldn't be pouring into in the first place. Regulations canceled out. Now there's hints, and now there's threats that this guy is not going to be supporting the military because of the funding they need. He's going to hold off their damn pay raises at this point over here because he doesn't like social media. There's a clause in a bill that's holding up right now for additional funding for the military that's going to be giving them additional pay that they need. And he's going to reject the damn thing because of a certain telecommunication clause in there that either protects or doesn't protect I haven't quite got into the damn thing. I got to research that to tell you the truth, on the record. But there's a telecommunication clause in there that he doesn't like. It gives protection to the social media, as I keep hearing it from others. And I said before, I got to research that stuff. I said before in a lot of my videos, I'm not an expert in anything. I'm an observer of stuff, but some things I do give my opinions on, and they're my own opinions. You don't have to share them. You don't have to acknowledge them. You could just say in the comments with a thumb stuck in your nose and a hand waving like crazy and saying, say that one. Stick your tongue at me. That's fine. Or else you can honestly say, yeah, I actually agree with this. Actually, I agree. I mean, I agree totally, but I agree with maybe a little bit of an effort. I mean, you're trying to communicate something here, aren't you? Or even if you have absolute faith and followers over there saying, yes, this guy's absolute. He's going to be the next Messiah. Those kind of people, I'm like, okay, where's my damn crucifix? I'm going to get you guys backed off here. I'm no damn Messiah. I've gotten pissed off enough that when I start doing video recordings like this, I know I'm pissed off and reacting to a hell of a lot of things that's being presented to us on a constant basis. No wonder we have issues. No wonder we can't stand people left and right. No wonder we have a division going on left and right. And we just got a new, or we're going to be getting if you want to call him a retread, call him a retread at this point over here. Because he's been in office for a hell of a long while. He's been a vice president, and now he's going to be the president, hopefully. Once he gets sworn in on the 20th, then what's going to happen to the dear old gas bag? Somebody pops his cork, and he's gone, man. Out of the picture. God's on me. But he's going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage one way or another. And he's still going to be doing it. 40-minute rant session of what the hell he thinks. And people should be listening to him more and more. He's still appealing to his base at this point over here. And they can't do a damn thing. Except maybe propel him for another 4 years to challenge. Is he going to be living long enough for that one? I mean, hell, if he's going to be living long enough for that one, I sure as hell hate to see the damn thing. All the damn diet he's been having. It's worse than mine. But then again, I keep looking at my own damn diet. I'm like, shit. I may go before this son of a bitch does. But if I happen to go after this son of a bitch, maybe I'll be laughing. Because I just see this orange gas bag who's been screwing everything else up. I'm expecting him to have his ass roasted down into hell. Because the way he's been doing things. I know some people have been trying to throw up the religious aspect of comparing him to the next Messiah at this point over here. And there are probably going to be people bringing up whatever happened to Jesus. I'm saying, whoa, wait a second. Jesus was a saint next to this son of a bitch. To the gas bag we call the current president of the United States, the 45th. Never should be stricken out in history, not to mention our own lexicon. But it's not. It's going to be pinned on the son of a bitch. It's not going to be like Doctor Who's war doctor, who had never been officially recognized for the current regeneration. Oh, no. Now, he's already got it in the history books that he's the 45th. And he's going to be on the top of the absolute worst presidents, according to history. At least according to our current history at this point over here. How they're going to be reviewing him in the next 100 years is a different story altogether. We can only judge it at this point. So comparing him to a Messiah, he has to have done some extraordinary, miraculous things. Even the lady Fatima has already been a saint. Not this son of a bitch. Not what he had been doing. Not as his family had been doing, too. Contemplating a pardon for everybody, for anything they possibly have done. The problem is, and the legal scholars and the courts are going to be going over this thing back and forth because we have never put ourselves in this situation before, is how is the pardon of the President of the United States going to be handled in the state courts? Because in federal courts, if he is charged for anything, and if he had pardoned himself, he will be exempt to the federal, but not the state. The states and locals will be hammering on his ass. Because once he turns private citizen, his ass is grass. So is his family. His family still ass is grass. And they'll be fighting that one out in the courts, too. They'll be fighting that out in the Supreme Court. We'll have to get some precedent coming from the lower courts and any legal precedents leading up to their case to back up their challenge. It's going to be messy for the next 20 years. If I live long enough, it's going to be a messy thing to see in the next 20 years. So, how are we doing with our current political situation right now? Hey, how about getting into a Treasury Secretary who doesn't know his ass from a hot rock, who's not a lawyer, arguing with lawyers regarding legal matters because he's been talking to legal people. He ought to know better. The problem is I haven't been talking to any legal people. I've been listening to other legal people. The thing is, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not saying it, that I know the law. I don't know the law. I research. And I only do things based off what I've already researched. And if there's things I don't know, there's things I don't know. And I have to state that. I don't know. Okay? There's a lot of things out there I don't know of. I don't know about. There's a lot of things in this world none of us know about. But we still have to try to learn. It's our function in life. Unless you're just going to be staying there in one spot and just looking at the clouds all the time and growing all just, I don't know how the hell you're going to sustain yourself biologically here. I mean, when you're biologically born, you have needs, you have functions. Then there are social needs and functions that keep up with your biological needs and functions. So just standing there staring at the damn clouds is not going to the pie in the sky is not going to help. And that's what I keep saying is the proverbial pie in the sky that people are taking at this point over here. They just ignore and blithely put a blighter on except to see what the sky is all about, and not seeing what the hell's going on around them. Well, guess what? Your ass is grass. Because I've seen that happen too. Problem is, there's a hell of a lot of stuff I've seen that I don't like. There's a lot of things I've experienced that I don't like. I tell things that I don't like. I talk to people about things I don't like. And it's not that easy. I have to be truthful. I have to be honest. To a point. I understand about the cash office honesty here when everything else has to add up. And they do. They do have to add up. But the one thing I never understand is how things are happening right now as it is. We've got a lot of things happening in our life right now. We have death and tragedy happening with the numbers that people keep denying left and right, but they're happening. And for those who keep going through the damn thing and actually make YouTubes or actually videos and talking to other people about it, and survivors of it, and family members who are relatives to the survivors, also trying to tell people what's going on regarding the COVID situation, it's kind of hard to deal with, isn't it? We have to deal with this. It's a horrible thing to sell. But it is what it is. And if you can't accept it, then that's on you, not on me. But the one thing that is not acceptable, if the damn thing can be prevented and you're not doing it, then we're screwed. I notice you're seeing the notice of topics being changed at this point over here. But there are things that are relative to each other. There are contexts that are overlapping each other. And of course, you're going to be looking for the proverbial head to put on a pike. Well, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? You're on reflection, right? Put your own head on a pike. You're going to look. You're going to be screaming for someone to be at fault. The numbers are rising. The hospital beds are decreasing. The hospitals are losing space left and right. Ambulance companies are adjusting and changing, and not to mention going under. We have doctors and healthcare workers stressing out left and right. We have people in the necessity areas that are trying to help us out also having issues left and right. They're getting stressed. They're getting burned out. They're getting whatever else going on with them. We are so interdependent on each other that do we not understand this? Whatever actions you take will have an extreme consequence on everything else around you. You don't see this because you're putting blinders on, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. So I can't yell and I can't scream loud enough because you won't hear. And if it happens to you and you're still going to be denying it, that's on you. But keep this in mind. Your actions already had consequences on everybody else. So keep that one in mind. You want your rights, you want your freedoms. You'll have your rights and you have your freedoms, and then you'll have death. Because somebody else will be paying the price for your own stupidity. That's just simply put. Why do you think we have to wear these damn masks all the damn time? We didn't have to last year because we didn't have the son of a bitch bug. Now we have it. We had an administration that didn't work fast enough. Didn't get on their dead ass. Kept playing politics, kept playing head games. Now we're screwed over. And we allowed it to happen on our watch. Now we got another president who's going to be open season for this damn bug. And everybody else around him. This bug don't play. Neither should we. We want our freedoms. We want it restored back to us. Then we work on it. And if you can't do that, then think about what kind of consequences you've already caused and how much damage you've already done with your decision. That's not a guilt trip. That's a reality check.